girl was curious. After seeing this book on BookTok, please do not tell Cade. Hello friends, I'm so thankful that you are here today. My name is ℚ𝕗 if you are new here, and today, I can't believe it, but we're already doing a November reading wrap up. I read 32 books, 25 of those were romance, 6 fantasy, and 1 historical fiction. I read 10,895 pages, and my average rating was a 4.45. We're gonna start with Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood. So in this book you have Delphi, who ends up choking on a burger and dies. She ends up kind of meeting this guy in the afterlife, and they kind of just like touch. Because of that, she gets a second chance at life and love, but she only has 10 days to find the one who is that guy that she touched. If she doesn't, there's literally no coming back. Like, she will stay in the afterlife forever. If you like magical realism, I definitely think that this is the book for you, and I really do enjoy the audiobook. I give this one 4 stars. Next, we have Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco. You have Emilia and Victoria, who are twins. They are also both witches. And one day, Victoria does not show up for dinner, so Emilia goes out trying to look for her sister and finds her dead. Obviously, she wants to find out who murdered her sister. In that process of trying to find out who murdered her, she ends up running into Wrath, who is one of the princes of Hell, who is also tasked to solve these series of women's murders because it's not just her sister. I give this one 4 stars. Say You'll Be Mine by Naina Kumar. This one is so sweet, you guys. I don't think you understand. You have Meghna, who is a theater teacher, and Kartik is our grumpy engineer. Both of their parents actually are wanting to play matchmaker, so what better way to stop that than getting fake engaged? And it's for both of their benefits. It's mostly for Kartik to get his mom, kind of like for her to pause on the whole matchmaking, and then Meghna also needs somebody to go with her to her ex's wedding because she's actually the best man. It was so fun and so lighthearted. It definitely explores the blending of cultural and modern traditions in a super meaningful way, which is why I gave it 5 stars. Next, we have A Dowry of Blood by S.D. Gibson. A lot of people that I know were reading this book in the month of October, I want to say, and they loved it. This book is actually written as a letter from Constanta's point of view, who was the first bride of Dracula, and it is kind of written to Dracula. It's kind of like a diary entry explaining everything that she went through. I really did enjoy it. I think it was very short. It did kind of get a little bit confusing, but I give it 4 stars. Next, we have The Courting of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Pearson. This one I was actually super excited for, and it was good. It just isn't like my favorite fantasy book that I read this year. So Bristol and her sister lost both of their parents, and because of that they are struggling financially. One day she starts receiving these letters from an aunt that she's never seen or heard of. This aunt is wanting to meet up with her and is also wanting to help her out. Because of that, everything that she thought she knew about her family was a total lie. Some areas of this book felt dragged out. To me, they just kind of sounded like a lot of other fairy books. I give it 3.75 stars. I read my first Liz Tom Ford book, and it was The Right Move by Liz Tom Ford. In this book, you have Ryan Shea, who is in the NBA. It rhymes. And he becomes the captain of the Chicago Devils. He's getting more responsibilities, so he really cannot get distracted. One day, his sister starts calling him and asking if her best friend can actually live with him because she really needs a place to stay. And, you know, because it's his sister, he can't say no. and that's where Indy comes in. It was so cute. I love these two so much. I really do love Indy. I feel like I related to her a lot. You have roommates, you have fake dating, and it is 5 stars. I am also very happy to announce that I started the Never After series by Emily McIntyre. I started with Hooked, which is a Peter Pan retelling where the villain gets the girl, and that's basically the premise for all of these books in this series. 5 stars. 5 stars. I love this book so much, especially if you can listen to it on audio. I think honestly this book is my favorite in this entire series so far. I also read Crossed, which is a reimagining of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. That personally is not my favorite movie, so I give it 4 stars. But Twisted is a reimagining of Aladdin, which actually happened to be one of my favorite childhood Disney movies besides Beauty and the Beast. So Twisted got a 5 star as well. November has been a month of tackling series because I finished the Priest series by Sierra Simone. Priest is the first book, and a priest ends up falling in love with this girl that shows up to his church, and he ends up breaking his vow of celibacy. I love the audiobook in this one, but the book overall is a 3.75 stars for me. Next we have Sinner, who is Sean's book, and he is a playboy, but he ends up falling in love with someone who is wanting to become a nun. I love Sean, and I gave this book 4 stars. This right here is a male romance where he decides to become a monk, even though he is still in love with Elijah, who happens to be his older brother's best friend, who also happens to be engaged. I give this book 5 stars. I do prefer the audiobook of this one. I just think because it had 2 separate male narrators, I felt like they kind of sounded similar, so it was a little hard to distinguish, but this book and the second book, Sinner, absolutely have my heart. As an unapologetic lover of the accidental pregnancy trope, I had to read Ready or Not by Cara Bastone. This one is actually really fun and super cute. I recommend the audiobook. Eve is our female main character who accidentally ends up pregnant, and she has this best friend Willa, who has been having fertility issues. She's really struggling with Eve's new news because Eve accidentally got pregnant and Willa really wants to, and because of that Willa just has been dealing with her own feelings. Her older brother Shep ends up stepping up. Shep is so cute. He is absolutely everything to me. I think he's one of the sweetest golden retriever cinnamon rolls. I gave it 5 stars. I need you to hear me out on this one. Like, I need you to hear me out. A girl was curious after seeing this book on Book Talk. It is Little Stranger by Lee Rivers. If you didn't know, this is a foster sibling romance. This book is pure chaos, but I ate it up. I literally ate it up, especially because of the male narrator. He was singing songs, like he was singing the Itsy Bitsy Spider. He was making it spooky. He was adding like it sounded like he was crying when Malachi was crying. 4.5 stars. Next, I read From Air by Jewel E. Ann. And I'm so glad I read this book. She is now a new favorite author. It'll have you laughing one moment, breaking your heart the next, and then slowly putting it back together. Calvin, our male main character, is a firefighter. He has the biggest heart, but he has built some walls around it from some past trauma. And then you have Jamie, who is our female main character. She is sassy, sweet, and she really loves to push his buttons. They end up being roommates after Jamie got a traveling nurse job there. One catch. The house rule is that you cannot hook up with any of the roommates. So you've got tension, you've got banter, you've got longing, and it was 5 stars. Next we have Not Without You by Anne Karine Quinn. You guys, she's literally the sweetest human being. She also has a YouTube channel where she talks about her author journey. You have Himiko, where something in her life happens where her dad hires her a bodyguard. Her bodyguard happens to be Keikoa, who has these sassy comebacks and he calls her princess. You have close proximity, secret relationship. I really did enjoy learning about the different cultures in this book. Their relationship is honestly so sweet, so sweet. It is 4.75 stars and literally look at them. Look, they are so cute. Literally so cute. I also read my first Arena Kemp book. It was ℚ𝕁𝕤𝕁, and let me tell you, it was interesting. It was really interesting. Killian. I don't think I've ever read a book like this before. At some parts, I honestly thought it was gonna be like a 3-star. But by the end, when I finished it, it ended up being a 4-star. Very intrigued for the rest of the books in the series. I also read a lot of Candy Steiner books, mostly because they were all available on audio. The first series that I read was the Best Kept Secret series. All of these books are 5-star reads for me. So we've got What He Doesn't Know, What He Always Knew, and What He Never Knew. You kind of have this love triangle because our female main character is still married, but her old childhood best friend comes back into town and they start connecting again. She starts to realize that she still has feelings for this man. By the second book, you get to find out who she chooses. And then the third book is who she did not choose. You've got angst, you've got tension, but it's honestly a really beautiful romance. The next is The Right Player. Our female main character, Belle, has a 3-date rule. Since she's kind of just trying to embrace the label that she was given as a girl that you don't take home to mom. And Makoa also has a 3-date rule, but it is the complete opposite. She ends up knowing that he is hiding something. 4 stars. Then we've got Revelry. Ren, who is our female main character, after years of trying to make her marriage work, she is officially divorced. She decides to spend her summer in a small mountain town outside of Seattle. Her neighbor kind of ends up being Anderson, who has been living by himself in this cabin, punishing himself for something that was completely out of his control. They both feel drawn to each other. This book is about healing, self-discovery, and forgiveness. I give this book 4.5 stars. Next, we have This Story We Wrote by M. Hartley. This is a sunshine romance. Aspen is a people pleaser who also aspires to be a romance author. She's never been in love, so Boone decides to take her on dates to help her write her romance book. It is so cute. And he calls her darling. It's a friends to lovers. I think I gave it 4.5 stars or 4.75. These next 2 books I did a reading vlog for, but we have Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. Our female main character, Elowen, was basically gifted these dragons. She has really become bonded with them, and one day when she wasn't obeying her father's orders, he took them away from her. Now he is keeping the dragons locked up and she is wanting to go get them back. If you are really into romantic books, I think this one is perfect for you. This is definitely more, I want to say, romance than fantasy. I gave this book 4 stars. And I tell you, I am obsessed with this man. Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. I think Weston is literally my favorite man that she has ever written. Please do not tell Cade. I love this book so much. It is so funny. He has the funniest comebacks. He is so incredibly sassy. Their love is honestly very, very sweet. I give it 5 stars. Next we have Forget Me Not by QB Tyler. Olivia gets a call one day that her soon-to-be ex-husband actually got into an accident, and she goes to the hospital. When she walks in, she realizes that Bennett is suffering from memory loss and that his memory is actually stuck in the year of 2017, which is 2 years prior to their present day. He does not remember anything that caused their marriage to end or anything that he has done. He honestly still thinks that they are happily married. Because of that, he actually needs someone to watch over him when he gets out of the hospital, and Olivia moves him into her apartment. 3.75 stars. Next we have The Never King by Nikki St. Croix. I was so excited to start this one because I originally read Devourer of Men by her, and I am absolutely obsessed with that book. But this book is a Peter Pan retelling where the darling women have actually disappeared on their 18th birthday. This is like an ongoing issue. It's been happening for centuries. They end up returning home broken. But this time specifically, it is different because the Never King and the Lost Boys actually do not want to let her go. 4 stars. Next we have Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I was so excited for this one. You have a color-coded society where the reds are the lower class and the goldens are the upper class. ℓ𝕁𝕉 is a red working to make the surface of Mars livable. He ends up finding out that they have been betrayed all this time, and now he's gonna stop at nothing to bring down his enemies, even if he has to become one of them. This book had me hooked from chapter 1. I did give it 4.5 stars, literally only because there's like a game aspect and I felt like it really dragged on. Next we have Archer by Dr. Rebecca Sharp. I saw this book on TikTok that it was basically supposed to be like a Criminal Minds type of romance because it's like a bodyguard romantic suspense, and the male main characters are supposed to be like the Criminal Minds character. I saw that the last book in this series is supposed to be Spencer Reid. I'm so excited for that one. But in this book you have Kira, and her dad ends up testifying against the Irish mob. They get put into witness protection. We end up moving to this small town where she actually comes face to face with the man that tried to save her, who's named Archer. He now has opened up his own elite bodyguard agency. 4.5 stars. It is spicy. It is good spice. The tension. I absolutely love these two, and I cannot wait to finish the series. I read another Kristen Hanna book. I read The Great Alone. This book is in the year of 1974. It is mostly based around Alaska. Arndt, who is our female main character's dad, is a former POW that came home from the Vietnam War and just impulsively decides to move to Alaska and live off the grid. Obviously, they are not really prepared for that, and especially with the harsh winter. I still stand by The Woman being my personal favorite. I've recommended it to so many people and they end up loving it. But this one was still good. I gave it 4.75 stars. Next, we have The X-Files by Morgan Elizabeth. I think this one was really fun, especially a fun twist to, I want to say, your typical romance books. Cassandra owns The X-Files, which is a matchmaking service where she actually dates men to vet them out. That way her customers can be saved from heartbreak. After years of helping others, she finds herself needing a date to her father's wedding. So one day her car breaks down and this really hot, cute mechanic named Luke shows up. After one date, he's decided that he wants her specifically. He does not want her to find a match for him. He wants the matchmaker. I think I gave it 4.5 stars. The last book that I read is The Titan's Curse by Rick Riordan, which is book 3 in this series. I think I gave it 4 stars as well. Let me know what were some of your favorite books that you read in November, or if you have read any of these, please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Besties, as always, thank you so much for supporting my channel by watching this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Happy reading!